Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, we are reading from Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam. Canto 7, Chapter 1, Verse 7. Chapter entitled, The Supreme Lord is Equal to Everyone. Oh, this verse has the purport, so we'll chant this verse. Sattvam rajas tama iti prakrite natmano guna nate sam yugabhat rajan rasu ullasa eva va. Sattvam rajas tama iti prakrite natmano guna Ate Samyuga Rajan Rasa Ullasa Evava. Sorry. You want to chant? Sattvam Rajastamaiti Prakrite Natmano Gunam Ate Samyuga Padrajan Rasa Ullasa Evava. Sattvam Rajastamaiti Prakrite Natmano Gunam Tesham Yugapadraja Savula Sahigava. Word for word translation. Sattvam, the mode of goodness. Raja, the mode of passion. Tama, mode of ignorance. Iti, thus. Prakrite, of material nature. Na, not. Atmana, of the spirit soul. Guna, qualities. Na, not. Tesam, of them. Yugapat, simultaneously. Rajan, O king. Risha, diminution. Ullasa, prominence. Eva, certainly. Va, or. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation, my dear King Parikshit, the material qualities, Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, all belong to the material world and do not even touch the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These three gunas cannot act by increasing or decreasing simultaneously. Purport. The original position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one of equality. There is no question of His being influenced by Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, or Tamoguna, For these material qualities cannot touch the Supreme Lord. The Lord is therefore called the Supreme Ishvara. Ishvara Parama Krishna is the supreme controller. He controls the material qualities. Daivi Esha Gunamai Mama Maya Maya Dakshena Prakriti Surya. Material nature, Prakriti, works under his order. How then can he be under the qualities of Prakriti? Krishna is never influenced by the material qualities. Therefore, there is no question of partiality in the Supreme Personality of God. Om Jnanatimradasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Devamrita Swaminiti Namo Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Name Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachari Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desikara Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Can you turn this off to a lot of noise? So we have very high philosophy, like we discussed earlier in previous classes, how Jiva Goswami he wrote this Sat Sandarbhas. He wrote these 6 volumes of books, 100,000 verses, just discussing this one line in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, that Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Ete chamsa khalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna's supreme position. 100,000 verses, 6 books, just discussing this one line. But we don't understand Krishna's position. Like in the beginning, when Srila Prabhupada was doing the summary of Nectar of Devotion, he started doing them in the early 70s, like in 1970. And the devotees didn't have point of reference because they were just being devotee for like 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. We we can understand what it's like even if you've been around for like decades. Still, it's nectar of devotion. So they kept writing to Prabhupada. Oh, Swamiji, like, Prabhupada, what does this mean? What is that mean? Prabhupada says, just read it. Over time, you will have the realization and maturity to understand. Don't keep writing me like, what is this? What is this? Same thing with Krishna book. Srila Prabhupada said it's his favorite book. And they would ask so many questions, like how did Nanda Maharaj have 900,000 cows? How did King Ugrasena have millions of soldiers? How did they even fit in Vrindavan? It's a small. Prabhupada said, Krishna book means just read and enjoy. Don't ask too many questions. Don't keep writing me about this thing. So, Krishna's position, we cannot understand. Um, we can understand as much as Krishna will reveal to us. Doesn't mean we won't understand at all. Like this famous example Srila Prabhupada was explaining to a reporter. The reporter had questions about how do you write these books and who will be your representative next, and they had all these questions. Srila Prabhupada said, Krishna tells me like, what to do, what to write, so I'm just following his direction. And Prabhupada's servant wanted to pitch in and say to the reporter, like, break it down. Sometime, you know, we want to, water it down so people can understand. And this servant said, oh, what Prabhupada actually means is the super soul and heart is giving directions to Prabhupada said, that's not what I said. Krishna directly tells me what to write and how to manage. So Krishna talks to me. Krishna can also talk to us if we make enough advance, if we have the priti, bhajatam priti purvakam, if we have that kind of devotion, Krishna can also speak to us. Not prematurely like sahajas or people of other faith. They say, "Oh, Holy Spirit talks to me I, in tongues." There was one electrician in our kitchen in Atlanta, very nice guy. He loved prasadam and everything, but he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm all about God and all about faith." And he said, "I got saved when I was in the attic working on some electrical work, and there was prayer meeting going on downstairs, and I got saved in the attic in Atlanta, humidity." So people have all kinds of ideas, but to understand Krishna's position, that's something else. And that's what has been given to us. Srila Prabhupada in discussion about the Yamadutas and Vishnudutas, their discussion, Yamadutas didn't understand who these effulgent Vishnudutas are. So they were confused. Hey, this person is very sinful and his soul belonged to us. And the messengers of Narayan said, no, no longer, because he chanted the Lord's name, so he belonged to us. And then the Yamadutas were confused. Like, who are you and how did you show up? And the Vishnu Dutas were telling them, the Yamadutas, you work for Dharmaraj. You work for the Dharma personified. You don't even know this. Like, you have no right to be here. Without knowing Dharma, how can you work for Dharmaraj? It's like, doesn't make sense. So Srila Prabhupada was saying, in that context, in that lecture, Prabhupada was saying, like, if you meet someone and they say, oh, you claim to be a Hare Krishna, and what is your philosophy? Or if they challenge you that our philosophy is the best, not yours, you should be able to defeat them. Otherwise, you have no right to claim to be a Hare Krishna devotee. Prabhupada said we have given all these volumes of books, not just, oh, my Guru Maharaj writes them and we sell them. I have no idea what's in the books. But Prabhupada said you must also read these books. Prabhupada said we have at least 100 volumes of books. If you circulate them, um, anyone can read and become a perfect human being. That was Prabhupada's conviction. He wasn't just writing books because, oh, my, Guru Maharaj asked me to do this, and I don't really want to do this. What can I do? Prabhupada was a pharmacist, not a book production. He didn't have a book knowledge of how to produce books. He was at least back then they were just like Abai Babu, like the empowered, really empowered servants of Bhaktisiddhanta. They didn't think much of Srila Prabhupada. He was just a congregation member. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, write books, print books. Ever get money, go to the West. And it's like completely not related to his career or training or profession. He was a trained scientist. But Philip was like writing all these volumes of books with the vision, oh, we will take over America, will take over the world. Mayapur will be our own country, and we'll call the currency as Chaitanya. We'll produce mirdanga and ship them. We'll produce, deities and yeah, vision. Somebody was saying, Philip, in England, I was driving by the Queen's Palace, and Srila Prabhupada, the guard outside palace, he chants Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada said, what about the Queen? Why is she not chanting Hare Krishna? No matter who it is, Prabhupada, coming from the spiritual world, from his vantage point, it's like, hey, there's nothing else here. Krishna is the supreme, and everybody should surrender to him. Full conviction. I have a radio that I hit play button and just start playing Prabhupada like round the clock. Just anywhere any time of the day, you just Prabhupada fully convinced, not a iota of doubt about Krishna's position and our position. Hey, there's nothing here. Whatever we are impressed is just simply a glare, simply LED. There's just nothing here. They were taking Srila Prabhupada in France in a neighborhood to walk where so many beautiful architecture and lawns and dogs and houses. And Prabhupada just spat on one of the lawn, like, it's like, and there was a tree growing really close to one of the palatial building. Prabhupada said that was the owner of the house in his last life. He's so attached, he's come back as a tree. There were ghosts in John Lennon's palace. Prabhupada chanted Hare Krishna, full faith in the holy name. There was a cat, it came and was following Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was sitting and it came in his feet, and he was like, you know, trying to get the, rub against Prabhupada's feet. And then the next day the cat died. Srila Prabhupada said he was a yogi, unsuccessful, but he just needed a little foot dust to be elevated. So completely, wherever he went, not impressed. America, Europe, here, there, It's like, what is all this compared to the spiritual world? What is the beauty of this world? Bhagavatam says that compared to the gopis, Krishna's gopis, even the heavenly damsels, the Bhagavatam says, look like horses. It's like Srila Prabhupada can see that and teach that and inspire his, whoever Krishna sent him, he was happy to work with. Such a leader, such a teacher. So Krishna's position is very exalted. Name vidu suragana prabhavam cha maharishya aham adirhi devana maharishinam cha sarvasa. Krishna says, not even the demigods can understand because I came before them. Just like some of us, we come here, we don't know the history of Gita Nagari. How did the deities come about? When did the Ratha Yatra start? Where did Lalita Vishaka come from? Where's, like, what is this place? In the middle of nowhere, like somehow mystically, like so much going on here. Only a pure devotee can do this. And we had a little preaching center in the suburbs of Atlanta. Very hard to bring people to your program unless you're in the heart of the city. Here we are. In Gita is we're all fully engaged mysteriously. Like there's so much going on here. I was talking to this couple that came from Europe yesterday. What is your inspiration? How did you come here? Oh, I'm always inspired by Bhakti Tirtha Maharaja. I came for a visit and I fully felt his presence, so we decided to move in here. Can you imagine? Like the Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, like, he reasons hill who thinks Vaishnavas die. For one who is open and receptive, there's all kinds of inspiration. This Avanti Brahmana is talking about 24 gurus in the forest. Like we have a guru talking to us, we still think, Guru Maharaj said that, but it's a forest. He's got 24 gurus. He says, I see this Kurari hawk is one of my gurus. What do you learn from Kurari hawk? Oh, he's got some flesh in his mouth, and then a bigger bird came and it's threatening the Kurari hawk, saying, if you don't give up this meat, I will kill you. And then immediately he's like, it's not worth it. You can have it. Take it. So he's saying, I'm learning detachment from the Kurari hawk. So those who are inspired, there's miracles everywhere. Like we had such a beautiful festival this Saturday, Jagannath festival. Yashodev Prabhu and other team worked so hard to put a festival. It's I was just thinking, it's like there's so much going on right in front of our eyes, but we just fail to see because we're not um, receptive or inspired. But those who are inspired, that's another thing. So Krishna says that even the demigods can understand me because I was already here before them. Aham Adir Hi Devan. Like Brahma, he's born from the navel of, Vishnu. And Brahma sees, Krishna is having a picnic with his friends. He's eating like yogurt and fruit salad. And he's just a little boy. And Brahma was told that bluish boy is your origin. He is the supreme. And Brahma is like insulted. Like how is that? How is that possible? So Brahma takes all the calves because the boys were so small, they don't have the cows yet. They're taking care of the calf, and he hid them. And then Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala. The boys are in anxiety. I don't see the calves. Krishna says, you all don't disturb lunch. You take prasad. I'll go find it. And Krishna goes away, and Brahma hides all the boys as well in a cave. And Krishna comes back, and it's like there's no boys, there's no calves, but Krishna can see. So then there's Vishnu Tattva expansion of all the calves and boys, and even their turban and their buffalo horn and their tiffin box. And Krishna just exactly expanded himself and went home. And mysteriously, there was so much affection pouring from the parents and the cows and everybody else. Because all of a sudden, these are all not just boys, they're like Krishna. So that attraction. Because the neighbors were always praying and meditating. Only if we had a boy like Krishna, how I will serve you. So they all got to feed them and bathe them. And the calves, they've grown calves. They're not just newborn. The mothers have newborn. But these are little older calves, and they see them from the top of the hill. And they have so much affection there with the heavy milk pack, the galloping downhill to come and lick and give milk to these calves. It's almost like they're licking them, like they're gonna. swallow them. So this way, and then Brahma comes back and everybody is there. And then Brahma goes back. Even Balaram was bewildered by this yoga maya potency. Because Balaram was thinking that, and why is everybody showing so much affection to this? Like to this cowherd boys and calves. Is there some demon entered or some illusion? Like even he asked Krishna, like, is there anything going on there? Because Balaram was not there, it was his worship. And Krishna led him in. So, you know, see the Krishna's position. So Brahma comes back and everybody is there, exactly how it was. He runs back to the cave and everybody's there, like completely confused. And he starts offering prayers, saying like a sparrow, how much can a sparrow cover the sky? How he says people call me Brahma and Adi Kavi, and people say I know Krishna. But as far I'm concerned, I don't know anything about you, Krishna. I'm just like, and Brahma is falling at Krishna's feet like a golden rod, Dandavat, and washing his feet with his 8 eyes. And the famous pastime of Indra was so offended, he couldn't understand Krishna's position. He was thinking just a talkative nonsense boy, interfering from people offering yagna. He wanted to kill all the Brajabasis. Can you imagine the extent of that offense? Not just one, like you do any offense to any of the residents of Vrindavan. Even we are told, even don't scream at the rickshaw person or don't beat the monkey or dog. These are all special. What to speak of, you're sending the Samvartaka cloud to kill, wipe out all of Vrindavan. And he couldn't even move a leaf on the Govardhan hill with all his powers. Indra was so humble. And he blew it, like really blew it. We make offenses, but this is like on another level. So Brihaspati tells him, you have no right to even approach Krishna with forgiveness. You have to send Surabhi. You have to beg forgiveness through Surabhi. And then you have this Agni, this forest fire. Krishna just like swallowed it. And you have like Varuna. Varuna took Nanda Maharaj to the depth of the waters. He didn't realize the position of Nanda Maharaj. Also, he wanted to see Krishna. And Krishna goes to release Nanda Maharaj and all the, you know, water personified, the servants, everybody's worshipping Krishna. Nanda Maharaj is bewildered, like, oh, it's my son. And then Krishna gives the vision of the spiritual world to all the Brajabasis in that pastime. They're asking, you're so powerful, can you show us the spiritual world? And Krishna gives them a vision of Vrindavan. And they're all wondering, why is the spiritual world looking just like our neighborhood? Like that, you know, there's Brahma, or Indra, or Varuna, or Agni, even Lord Shiva. But she was fighting for his devotee, Kasiraj, this king of Kashi, very devoted to Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva decided to fight with Krishna to back up his devotee. And Shiva sends his weapon, Shiva Jwara, extreme heat. And then Vishnu sends his Vishnu weapon to cool down, like there was an extreme fight between Lord Shiva and Krishna. And, in the pastime, Lord Krishna actually tells Shiva that there's nobody I hate more than you, Shiva, for backing up this demon and giving me so much trouble. There are instances where Lord Shiva takes a humble role just to show the world that he is not the supreme. Most people don't even know that much who is supreme and who is not. Even he was bewildered by Mohini Murti, Lord Shiva. He's chasing after it. There's so many Babajis and sadhus and swamis meditating on Shiva and chanting his name, Om Namah Shiva. And here is the worship of the Lord running after a beautiful woman in their midst, Mohini Murti. So many instances in the Krishna book, we can see, either you're covered by Mahamaya and you can understand Krishna's position, or you're covered by Yoga Maya and you can understand Krishna's position. The residents of Vrindavan, they refuse to understand Krishna's position. Like he's showing Mother Yashoda his mouth, so many universes, and she's like, I don't want to see this. Arjuna is given the universal form, and he's like, please, please, just go back to your position as Sham Sundar. I don't want all this. Krishna leaves the gopis, and Krishna turns himself into four-handed Narayan sitting in the path. And the gopis are like talking to each other, they're talking to the bee, they're talking to the deer and the trees, and they're like gone insane in the absence of Krishna. And they see Narayana, and they're like, Om Namo Narayanaya. Have you seen Krishna? And then they're like, oh, okay. So just keep going. There's no like diversion. And the Maharaj thinks, me and my brothers and the cowherd men were holding up Govardhan hill with our canes. They can understand Krishna can do that. So like this, you know, Krishna's position, we can understand. In Brihad Bhagavatamrita, it's mentioned even Krishna is having identity crisis. Who am I? His opulences are always ever expanding. His potencies are trying to catch up. So, this is what we have been given. Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanaya Tadhamam Vrindavan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, the topmost worship, the topmost deity of worship is Vrajesha Tanaya, is Krishna. Aradhya Bhagavan, the worship of Vrajesha Tanaya. Ramya Kasyid Upasana Vrajavadu Vargena Vakal. And who is the topmost devotees are the gopis. Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi, but he is glorifying the gopis and want to follow in the footsteps of the gopis. People have misunderstanding. Oh, Krishna is immoral, gopis are immoral. Nara Leela, Krishna resembles like human-like pastimes, but people misunderstand it. Sometimes it's easy to relate, sometimes it's also easy to misunderstand. Like Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, Rasa Leela. Very famous, also most misunderstood. People can understand the purity of the gopis. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is worshipping them. Srimad Bhagavatam Amalam Puranam, I said. Srimad Bhagavatam is this spotless Purana. So we don't know anything, you know, and all of a sudden we are given all this access to all this. And now we have the choice in the short life how far we want to go. But we are fully given access. It's now we have the choice to have excuses or take advantage of what's been given. That's why it says in the verse we read, Krishna is not partial. Like I was having Gita reading with my sisters, and their point is, oh, you're a chosen one. Like in this life, Krishna is choosing you, so you have gone down this path, but we are entangled. For us, there's very little hope and all that. Like, where does it say that? Where did you read that? No, they're like they think, it's like basically it's like excuses. But no, every equal opportunity is there for everyone. With like Guru Maharaj, Devamrita Maharaj says that, like students, you can be in the front of the class, the middle of the class, or in the back of the class throwing spitballs. Or sometimes the one in the back goes in the front, the one in the front goes to the back, or in the middle. So we have the choice, the limited time, how far we want to go. And if we take advantage, then we can have the prema pumarto mahan. We can have the prem in the short life, as unqualified as we are. Everything has been given to us. It's a sale. It's like a Black Friday sale, Amazon sale, where like a $100 shoe is selling for $9.99. We don't question, we just take it. Hey, it's a great deal. It's slashed like 90%. So Mahaprabhu is coming and saying, like, I have brought this goods, and it's very few customers I'm seeing, but I'm not willing to carry them back, so I'm willing to distribute. Sometimes, I go on book distribution, and somebody gives me like 4 Bhagavatam sets and said, please, Prabhu, please give this out. It's for such and such occasion. I wanted to sponsor 4 sets. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you don't need to worry about the Lakshmi, and then any Uber driver, any Muslim grandma, any lazy, crazy, anything walks by, you're like, you want to take this home, and they're like, I can take one. No, you have to take the whole thing. And all of a sudden you're giving books to people that you wouldn't normally even approach. So Mahaprabhu's mercy is like that. It's just, he's willing to, he's running after us. Nityananda Prabhu is running after us to give us love of God. I don't know about you all, but I was certainly looking for love of Godhead in the streets of Wellington. My my plan was something else. I wasn't planning to meet a pure devotee from New York, you know, because I liked rap music and basketball and comedy and all these things from like, brothers from New York. I never thought I'll meet a pure devotee sannyasi from New York teaching Srimad Bhagavatam in Wellington, New Zealand. So We just have to, we just happen to be in the right place at the right time. We won the lottery. The magic already happened. The moment we met Prabhupada, devotees and books, it already happened. Not waiting to happen. So now we can choose. Okay, I'll stop here. Anything, anybody have question, comments? Yes, ma'am.
We stay inspired in each night. Like coming to this place, to this retreat, so inspiring for me. But day to day, just the service and everything happens. My inspiration goes down.
Yeah, nice question. Mataji is asking, how to stay inspired, uh, even in our day practices. Yeah, so I all the inspiration is there in Srila Prabhupada's book. I just, like if we remember, like in our short journey, even before we started chanting, even before I started chanting maybe like 6 months later. But it's just reading Srila Prabhupada's books, it's so much energy is there. See, he is like enthusiasm personified, Srila Prabhupada. So that energy is there. If we tap into it when we read this book, then the stay in healthy condition. And all levels, for example, it like reminds us where we come from. The Prabhupada, like Prahlad Maharaj, he remembers his past. He's saying to Narsingadev, I come from a demon family, don't tempt me. Like we can remember so many things. And just reading yesterday I was on a call with one Mataji said, oh, book distribution is very discouraging and I don't think it's for me and this and that. I said read Leela Amrita. So we go outside of our little self and our little life, we see what we owe. What Srila Prabhupada went through and where we come from, what we've been given, and you know, hearing Devamrita Maharaj, gives the survey of how much suffering there is. We see in ourselves and our family, friends. So I just feel like if we make time to read Srila Prabhupada's purports, and that enthusiasm, we stay enthusiastic. The moment, like this Brahmachari Prabhu visiting, no matter what, he takes time to read for 2 hours. And we know so many examples in New Zealand. And I had a feeling that he can go the distance. I was just thinking about him. I was just like, this person can actually make it in that ashram because he has that habit of reading Prabhupada books because that's where it is. Like Guru Maharaj eats superfood, everything he eats, it has nutritional value. He just doesn't need any flour, anything, any oil. Like he always told me, like I stopped eating rice like 30 years ago. I remember because I used to cook for him, and he would eat rice back then, but he eats quinoa or millet, or something like that. Krishnadas Kaviraj says that the Sravanam Kirtanam is the superfood. And if we let go of that, time goes by actually. You can actually go without reading for 1 week, 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, like that, 5 years, 10 years. So that, that's my humble realization. It's there contained, like that example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left his potency in the Padma River for Narottam to pick it up. He turned golden when he went into the waters. Prabhupada has left the potencies in his purpose for us to, your children, their children. It's available. All the enthusiasm of the leaders we see because they are loyal to Prabhupada's books and they chant good japa. I see these swamis empowered to create like Hungary and this one, that one, eco village. These are all devotees that read Prabhupada books and did good japas. Very simple. That okay? Anything else? Yes, Prabhupada.
How do you feel that actually going back thinking about the issue being said to the younger people about how you serving Dharma and you don't know what is basic rules. And think about also, you mentioned if you meet someone and you can explain philosophy, you have the right to sit here, even annoy you. So then how, as people come to Christian consciousness, to really build that habit of reading to the point where they don't really feel, just like some people go to the gym every day and they don't go for the big kind of battles. How do we build that with the people we meet in ourselves?
Yeah, Prabhu is asking in terms of like, if we don't have the knowledge and we're still trying to spread Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada is saying you have no right to do that. But what I experienced is it's like, book distribution. You actually become very learned in the scriptures in a fast track way because you go out. It's like you can learn swimming from YouTube. In India, we don't know, not many Indian people know how to swim, like very few. When I went to New Zealand, my Maori friends would take me on the boogie board to surf. So there was like crash course on swimming, like I don't know anything about swim. So when you going out on book distribution, it makes you very strong philosophically because you'll meet a lot of opposing elements. Not everybody is going to fall at your feet and give you a Maha Burfi. They don't know who you are. So it's like heavy lifting. Very quickly. And also when you read the books, you know, after going out on book distribution, you read the books, like the Guru Maharaj says, the purports jump at you. In other words, you have extra uh, access to the philosophy. So it's Prabhupada said simultaneous transformation and distribution. We don't just distribute without reading, or we just don't read and don't distribute. It has to be both. But when you go on the streets, you'll make a lot of spiritual advancement on all levels, even streetwise. Like people study business or communication skills, but they're like nerds. They don't know anything outside of their cubicle and laptop. But you sell books, you can accomplish anything in life. So that's my humble realization.
I was curious too about building that habit of, say, 2 hours of reading, like that really making that such a regular thing that you don't feel good if you miss. So if that happens, if you're mentioning you're really busy, once you get to that point, you can make it. And if you're reading, you're chanting. And if you're reading and chanting, your power. If you're reading, chanting, hitting the truth, thinking, you can't lose unless you just.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, that's very good point. Actually, when people say I don't have time, it's not like They don't have time. It's just they don't have the taste. Because we all can make time if we like something. So again, it's in the sadhana stage. We may not like to read, but in the sadhana stage, just like we don't like to chant or any of the service we don't like, but we do it anyways. But over time, you develop the momentum and ruchi. Like I asked Guru Maharaj one time, like, oh, I already heard these pastimes, my mind, you know. So when I open up the Krishna book, I feel like I already know this. He said, never overgrow Krishna book. He said, don't listen to your mind, just push through all that and just read. Just have a good time. Just read. Don't listen to your mind's excuses. So once we go past these stages of jaundice, when the liver is cured, then you can actually taste the sweet candy, and we see how much nectar and inspiration there is in Prabhupada books. Like Vajradika Prabhu says, scrolling makes you dumb. Scrolling makes you stupid, but Krishna's words is Vedic intelligence. So you tune into Krishna's teachings. It's very attractive, this association. Stay even having dreams about the purports. So many times Srila Prabhupada, not so many times, but Srila Prabhupada came in my dream. And it's all related to book distribution. Asking questions about book distribution, giving them scores. Whatever we choose to absorb ourselves, then we see that kind of ecstasy contained in this teaching. You can't find. Somebody asked Guru Maharaj, why didn't you become a Christian preacher, a Muslim preacher? He said, give me a book like Krishna book. I'm ready to join. Give me a Krishna book. He said, at least give me a nectar of instruction. Give me something. Give something like teachings of Prahlad Maharaj booklet. I'm ready to join. There's none. There is no comparison to these books. There is none. Because things don't get better in this world. It just gets boring, more boring. But in spiritual life, it may not be there yet, but it gets better. That's for sure. You just have to, you know, listen to the people like Guru Maharaj with experience. See how reading these books, Srila Prabhupada's disciples, they become perfect beings. Which university education can guarantee that? Prabhupada was saying in San Francisco in a university, she pointed to the bell tower. They study all this education, they pay a lot of fees, they go up the bell tower and jump and commit suicide. He said, what is the value of such education? Even the animals, they take care of their babies. So what are they doing to their children? Feeding them cow flesh in the form of powder. They didn't, have much impression about these books. We can become perfect devotees in this lifetime. Help so many people once we become fixed up. I'm just waiting for them to. Was there anything else? We may not have much time, but okay. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tulsi Dada Damodar ki.
Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Tora Bhakta Vrinda.
Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ashtotra Sri Sri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Guru Gita. Ananda Pariyoshan Nigidai Namacharya Haridas Thakur Prem Se Prabhu Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Sri Gaur Shri Sri Radha Damodar Gopal Gopinath Ramakunda Radha Nagari Vrindavan Gita Nagari Harinam Sankirtan Ila Prabhupada Sri Sri Sadhana Sri all glories to this Lord. All glories to this. All glories to this. All glories to this Guru. Thank you.